from the WHBC Broadcast Center. Find out more about area businesses, agencies, and events.
It's what's going on right now.
This is Spotlight.
And good morning, everyone, and welcome to Spotlight on News Talk 1480 WHBC. It is a beautiful Wednesday morning, and we're very, very excited to bring you this spotlight today. A lot of information that we're about to impart on you. I will remind you that we're not only on the radio, but you can also find us live on our Facebook page. So just search 1480 WHBC, and also on our YouTube channel. So just go to YouTube, search 1480 WHBC. You'll find us and subscribe, because every time we put something cool on our YouTube channel, then you'll be notified. So that's an awesome thing. Today, we're going to talk about something that is new to Ohio right now, and that's part of the reason we want to discuss it, but something also that is just very, very interesting, and I think you'll find that you want to know more about it the more you start to hear about it. We're going to talk about the American Forest Foundation, and I have with me today Richard Campbell, Tristan Kinnison, and David Funk, and we'll explain what they're all here to talk about in just a moment. Welcome, gentlemen. How are you today?
Great to be here.
Glad to have you. Glad to have you. We're going to talk about a new program that is now in Ohio. And I want each of you to introduce yourselves and explain how you're involved in what we're discussing today, because this is the Family Forest Carbon Program. So first of all, I'll have Tristan, you introduce yourself first.
Yeah, so my name's Tristan Kinnison. I am one of our staff foresters. I'm based out of Athens, Ohio. I'm basically the face that a lot of landowners interact with. I go out and do the site visits. I work with them to work on their forestry goals, give them some info on how their forest is doing, and kind of talk them through the process before they
enroll for the program. All right,
Yes.
Richard Campbell, tell us your part in all of this.
Good morning. Thanks for having me on. So my part of it is more on the scientific side of things, making sure that the things that Tristan offers landowners have a real benefit to the climate and to the forest.
Okay, simple as that. And then, of course, David Funk is, well, I don't want to say you're the guinea pig, because that's not really what it is. But you are the first, right?
Yeah, fair enough. So David Funk, I'm the founder of Capstone Forestry. We started, we're just a small family business, started planting in the 1980s, and are based in Athens, Ohio. We've always had this commitment to woodland management, woodland preservation, and along comes the Nature Conservancy and the American Forest Foundation. Reached out to me with the idea of enrolling in the carbon credit program. So yes, we're I believe we're the first, and we're the guinea pigs, and really incredibly excited to be a part of this and to be helping to blaze the trail for carbon credits in the state of Ohio.
All right, just a side note. I am an Ohio University Bobcat, graduated 1984.
Go Bobcats. Me
Go
too.
Bobcats.
Go
Yay!
Bobcats.
All right, so first of all, let's talk about the American Forest Foundation. Let's talk about that first. Give me a little bit of an idea of what the American Forest Foundation is all about.
So the American Forest Foundation, or AFF, as we'll probably be calling it a little bit,
Okay.
sort of started out of World War II need for more industrial timber supply. So it sort of started as it's basically always been a nonprofit focused on helping landowners, sort of initially on working towards more timber supply in, the U.S. workforce, and has sort of evolved since. More recently, you probably know us from the American Tree Farm System. So they have these little diamond-shaped placards that people will present out. And it's sort of in the same vein, a way of helping people increase their timber production on their property. And very recently, we have teamed up with the Nature Conservancy as sort of another piece in the puzzle to help landowners to get some financial revenue in between those harvest cycles.
And that's important. Why? For people who may not be, astute to all of that, what's important about that?
Yeah, so a big piece is that owning forests is expensive. And if you don't have a good way to pay for it, it becomes a lot more of a burden than a benefit. So if you own 50 acres of woods and you don't want to cut it because you really like having it, you like being able to hike in it, you like being able to hunt in it, and you don't want to see it torn up for about 10 years after a harvest, we try to empower landowners through financial incentives and through technical support and information on how better to manage their forest if they're going to conduct a harvest, to sort of inform them best practices on how to do that, and get them a forest management plan, which is basically a 10-year plan on what best to do with their forest, and obviously the financial incentive to help offset some of those property taxes.
Right, and that's what the program is all about. And Richard, what is your part in all of that he's talking about?
Sure. So when Tristan is working with a landowner and helping to recommend different types of forest management treatments, our team has to make sure that those things have a benefit to the climate. So the program works around a commitment to a forest management strategy that we've been able to demonstrate has a real benefit, both in terms of the climate mitigation, the amount of carbon sequestration and storage that the forest can take on over a 20-year period, as well as the ability of the forest to be resilient in the face of a changing climate. So we try to, present a set of, it's a strategy for forest management that's really going to help landowners meet those goals, as well as be able to manage their forests sustainably for a recurring crop of timber that will provide an additional income, as well as the program incentives that Tristan described.
David, how did you hear about the program?
We've been associated with Nature Conservancy for quite a while. So they were the first to reach out, introduced me to Tristan. And, Tom Rooney is Tristan's counterpart at the Nature Conservancy. We walked some woods, talked through the program, and it just went from there.
So pretty simple, you felt like?
So it's a process where there's a lot of due diligence, and I view that as a good thing. Tristan will share with you, he spent a lot of time in our woods. So, from the Nature Conservancy and American Forest Foundation perspective, they're wanting to make sure that the woods that are put in the carbon credit program have sufficient mass. They're really going to do the job that Richard pointed out. And so, the majority of our woods qualify, but some didn't. We've taken over some farmland that is converting back to woods. It's just in its infancy, and so the decision was that wasn't really going to move the needle in terms of sequestration and some of the other goals. So simple, no, but I'm glad it wasn't simple. This has been a very strong learning experience for me, and now I I understand the principles behind the carbon credit program, but I also now understand all the resources that are going to come our way in terms of management plans and ongoing assistance from folks like Tristan and Tom Rooney and both associations. It's pretty cool to have some of the world's best foresters from both those organizations a phone call away.
Yeah, I'm not surprised. Ohio's pretty good with that. Are there any other states that have this program?
Yeah, so it's actually expanding basically every day. As of right now, I think we are basically from Tennessee all the way up to Maine right now. So in our Central Appalachia region, we are enrolling in Ohio, West Virginia, Maryland, Pennsylvania, Tennessee, and Kentucky. And then by the end of the year, we're hoping to enroll in the Carolinas, Georgia, and Alabama.
Wow. Okay.
As well as all the Northeast states and some in the Midwest. So we're working in Minnesota, Wisconsin, and Michigan right now.
Wow. It is expanding then. Okay. Well, we're going to take our first break. When we come back, I want to start talking about the process and how that goes for the landowner. And if someone's listening, what they do to get themselves involved. We'll do all of that and talk more to the folks from the Carbon Program. And we'll do that here on Spotlight on 1480 WHBC coming up next.
Breaking and trending. Here's why you should listen. Search 1480 WHBC on Facebook.
It's just good.
Find more right now on WHBC.com.
Spring is on at thegrassmaster.com. It's the right time to get your lawn treatment scheduled. Want your lawn to look lush and beautiful like a golf course? Those VIP programs are now accessible to residential customers. So call Grassmaster, let them turn your lawn into a masterpiece. They'll even help you get rid of pests like fleas, ticks, and chinch bugs. For a free quote from your lawn care professionals, call 1-888-GREENER or visit thegrassmaster.com.
Time is ticking and your dream home's waiting. This is Steve Struckle, mortgage loan originator at the Commercial and Savings Bank. We understand that buying a home can be overwhelming, but with CSB, it's easier than ever. We offer a range of options, whether you're looking to buy, build, refinance, or improve your home. Our mortgage lenders will guide you every step of the way. Visit our website at csb1.com to apply online today and turn your dream into reality. The Commercial and Savings Bank, where homeownership begins. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Lowe's knows pros need the right tools for every job. That's why we sell the largest in-store selection of Klein tools anywhere. Find new items like the self-leveling green laser level for just $159.98. Plus, shop the Connect pass-through socket set for $49.98, which you can only find at Lowe's. Shop Klein tools in-store and online today, because Lowe's knows tools. Lowe's knows pros.
Some days, my active psoriatic arthritis makes it hard to get in the game. Now, the ball is in my court, thanks to treating my skin and joints with Skyrizi, Risankizumab Rizin, a prescription-only 150 milligram injection for adults.
Nothing is everything.
Skyrizi helps with less joint pain, stiffness, swelling, and fatigue. For those who also have plaque psoriasis, 90% clearer skin is possible with just 4 doses a year after 2 starter doses.
Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions and an increased risk of infections or a lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, your doctor should check for infection and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor if you have an infection or symptoms such as fever, sweats, chills, muscle aches, or cough, or if you plan to or recently received a vaccine.
With Skyrizi, there's nothing like clearer skin and better movement, and that means everything. Ask your doctor today about Skyrizi and visit Skyrizi.com or call 1-866-SKYRIZI to learn more.
If you need bold banners to boost your business, but you're on a budget, think Staples. Posters, flyers, signs, and menus for less? Think Staples. Staples can print anything you need to move your business forward. Now at Staples, save $50 on your print purchase of $150 or more. Same-day service available on hundreds of items if you order by noon. And all backed by Staples' Print Perfect guarantee. So it's done right or it's printed again free. Staples, your local print and marketing expert. N61, visit staples.com/print for details.
Cashback is not available on gas in New Jersey and Wisconsin. Hey, good morning. You're heading to the airport, right?
Yep, thanks for checking. I like the car. How long have you been a rideshare driver?
About 3 years now. I really enjoy it.
Isn't it hard to make money these days with the price of gas being so high?
Not for me. I use Upside, the free app that gives you cash back for every gallon of gas you buy.
Wait a minute. Are you saying you actually get real money back when you get gas with the Upside app?
Yep, I get real cash back every time I get gas.
Does that actually add up to anything?
I'll make around $200 to $300.
Wow, that's serious extra cash. I'm downloading the Upside app now.
Download the free Upside app now to earn real cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code LIMO for an extra 25 cents a gallon bonus on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank account, PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code LIMO for a 25 cents a gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code LIMO.
Want to keep your gas-powered engines running like new? Staples' proprietary formulas are proven by third-party testing to outperform the competition in keeping fuel fresh, preventing corrosion, and cleaning the entire fuel system. With Stable, you can have confidence you are doing the right thing for your engine's long-term health. Just pour into your gas can or fuel tank, then top off with fresh fuel. At every fill-up or when you store, start with Stable, available where fuel additives are sold.
We used to argue about whose turn it was to clean the gutters, but then I had Leaf Filter gutter protection installed.
Wait, I told you Leaf Filter had free inspections and estimates and a lifetime guarantee.
Meaning we never have to argue about whose turn it is to clean the gutters again.
But I visited leaffilter.com/beacon first.
No, I did.
It doesn't matter who. Visit leaffilter.com/beacon to schedule your free gutter inspection and get up to 30% off today.
See representative for warranty details. Promotion is 20% off plus a 10% senior or military discount. One discount per
Did you know that feeling sluggish or weighed down could be a sign that your digestive system isn't working at its best? Taking Metamucil every day can help. Metamucil fiber powders help promote your daily digestive health using a plant-based fiber called psyllium. The gelling action of this special fiber traps and removes waste, so you can feel lighter and more energetic. Metamucil, promoting digestive health for a better you. Learn more at metamucil.com. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. These products are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
Now back to Spotlight on 1480 WHBC.
And welcome back once again to Spotlight on 1480 WHBC on our Facebook page. We are live right now also on our YouTube channel. If you want to check us out there, you can check out the video. We'd appreciate that. We are talking today about the Family Forest Carbon Program, brand new to Ohio, and just a very, very interesting program that if you're listening, maybe there is you or a family member who certainly thinks this could benefit your family. But I want to bring in again Richard Campbell, Tristan Kinnison, and David Funk. And we're talking about the program. And Tristan, I'm going to ask you, do you go looking for people, or do people come looking for you to get involved in the program? How does that work?
Well, for the most part, they come looking for me. I've been pretty busy with our Ohio launch recently. So we have a couple different ads out in, different outreach events like this, through some forestry talks, different things like that. So we've been, I haven't had to do much asking. People have been banging down my door a little bit.
I would imagine. Okay, so if I'm somebody who comes to you and I sit down, what are you looking for in a person a landowner? What works for you?
So in terms of enrollment criteria, what we look for is a landowner must have at least 30 or more forested acres that qualify. And to qualify, you need to have at least 4,000 board feet per acre, which is sort of a timber assessment on the volume of timber that's on the property. So we check that in a variety of ways. Typically, I go out and do a site visit and do some forestry measurements and make sure. 4,000 board feet isn't a super high bar, but it's sort of enough that we can make sure that there's a somewhat mature forest on the property already. I think the methodology behind that is sort of that it could potentially be harvested as it enrolls. So that's sort of the big things that we look for on the property. For a landowner that really works, I mean, typically the people I talk to that it seems to work best for are people that just are interested in either maintaining or somehow getting a grip on their forest land. I talk with a lot of people that just sort of don't know what to do with their forest.
Mm-hmm.
They just have it in the backyard and they like it, but they don't want to see it, torn up or anything. But they don't have the forestry expertise or really the money to sort of follow into any active management or, really conduct a plan. So working with those landowners, I think, is a really good experience for me and for them. And then really just anyone looking to make some passive income off of their property without doing a harvest. Those seem to be the best landowners.
And I saw Richard, you gave a thumbs up as he was explaining that. Why?
I mean, well, Tristan sort of nailed the reason why we have sort of the eligibility requirements we do, right? We want to make sure that the landowners have sort of options, for the woodlands that they would be maybe enrolling in the program. Because we're trying to sort of over the course of a landscape is sort of change the way that forests are managed. And if there aren't options to manage forests, there isn't really an option to change it. And so we need to make sure that anything that we bring into the program could have a sort of an alternative future, one where climate mitigation is a focus for management and one where it isn't.
Do most landowners know what they have or know that if they qualify or not before they come to you, or is it something that they need to find out?
For the most part, no. Landowners, 4,000 board feet is not something that someone's going to know off the back of their hand.
That's what I figured.
I can kind of, so as people enroll, they have a number of different opportunities to sort of talk with us and with some of the staff. So we try to get as much of that info out before doing a site visit. But typically it comes down to actually seeing it for ourselves.
All right. So, and David, you're kind of following along here because this is the process that you went through, right?
Absolutely.
So, and when you determined that you were eligible, what was your next step then?
So started working with Tristan and set up site visits at our Funk Family Forests. Got feedback from there, worked with staff at both the American Forest Foundation and Nature Conservancy. You do enter into a contract. You're agreeing to set aside the woods for 20 years. There are some common sense components of that. For instance, you can still harvest 25%. That's really intended, I believe, to take out some diseased trees, down trees, and that sort of thing. So you're not completely handicapped or handcuffed, but we have no intent to do that anyhow over the next 20 years. And then from there, once the paperwork is done, our future is working with Tristan and others on management plans and using the modest stipend to do continuing management work that we've been doing, but it'll allow us to expand that and battle invasives and other things that can only make the forest better.
Yeah. So what over the 20 years, what happens? What is the landowner seeing happen to the forest on their land? What are they seeing?
So it really depends. If you ask a landowner what they want to see, it's kind of like asking a gardener what they want to grow in their garden. It really depends on landowner goals. So, a lot of people want to focus on making sure that they have good whitetail hunting habitat. There are a number of different levers that we can pull to sort of accentuate, food resources on the property, to work with some, maintain their waterways, different things like that can sort of help them with their wildlife goals. If they want to see improved timber at the end of the 20 years, we can get a little more active and call for, stem selection or some crop tree releases or, things that over the 20 years will help them have more and better mature timber at the end of the 20 years. It's a whole world. I mean, it's really what you want to get out of it. And we try to work with landowners and make sure that we're getting them as close to what they want to do as we can get them.
Okay. All right. Well, we have to take a break for the news right now, which we will do. And then when we come back, we'll have more discussion. I know there's a lot of other things to talk about. And so many things to learn, especially if you are something is being bells are going off in your head and you're thinking, yeah, this could be for me. We'll talk more about the American Forest Foundation, the Family Forest Carbon Program that is now in Ohio. And we will continue on Spotlight here on 1480 WHBC.
Your land is your legacy, but keeping it healthy and thriving means caring for it now and in the future. The Family Forest Carbon Program can help you do right by your land with guaranteed income, help developing a forest management plan, and advice from experts. If you own 30 acres or more of forest land in Ohio, Pennsylvania, West Virginia, or Western Maryland, you may be eligible to enroll in the Family Forest Carbon Program. Visit familyforestcarbon.org and enroll today.
Spring cleaning starts with clean water. Call Verndale Water Experts and schedule their $49 softener checkup and sanitation service. Get pure perfection with Verndale Water Experts.
Tap into Verndale's Water Center.
WHBC AM 10, reliable as ever on News Talk 1480 WHBC.
From the News Talk 1480 WHBC newsroom, Ohio Governor Mike DeWine will deliver his State of the State address today. He's expected to highlight the goals and accomplishments of the Buckeye State. He will also give the address from the Ohio State House instead of traveling to a different location. The address will start at noon today. So what does it take to get people to put down their phones and go outside? Well, apparently a once-in-a-generation solar eclipse. According to cloud computing service Cloudflare, internet traffic dropped during Monday's solar eclipse, especially along the path of totality, where it dropped by as much as 60%. In the U.S., the largest drops were in Arkansas, Indiana, Maine, New Hampshire, and right here in Ohio. Lunchables may not be as good for your kids as you think. The prepackaged children's lunch product, which contains deli meat, cheese, and crackers, has been found to contain, quote, concerning levels of lead and sodium. This is all according to Consumer Reports. While the levels don't exceed legal limits, 5 of the 12 products tested by the Consumer Group would expose a child to more than 50% of the maximum amount of lead or cadmium heavy metals that can cause developmental problems and other issues in children. They say more investigation is needed. In sports, the Cleveland Cavaliers are back in action tonight. They host Miami. They finish up the regular season at home. They have 3 more games, including tonight. Cleveland Guardians lost to the White Sox last night 7-5. They'll play again tonight. We'll have that game for you. Pregame at 5:35, first pitch at 6:10. I'm Pam Cook.
Your severe weather station, News Talk 1480 WHBC.
Here's your AccuWeather forecast. Cloudy, couple of showers, a little bit cooler today. Afternoon high 63. Rain tonight and a low 58. Breezy, warm periods of rain. Some of that could be heavy tomorrow. Thunderstorm possible. That could bring some large hail, damaging wind, even a tornado. High 69. Showers and cool on Friday, high 51. Partly sunny, breezy Saturday, the high 59. For weather anytime, check out AccuWeather.com. I'm Steve Williams for News Talk 1480 WHBC.
Medicine Center pharmacies have been serving our local community for over 40 years. Our customers know they can count on our pharmacy staff, save money, and trust us. Stop by any of our Medicine Center pharmacy locations in Canton, Louisville, Minerva, and New Philadelphia, or visit us online at medshoprx.com.
Hi, this is Jim Snyder of the Your Wealth, Your Retirement program, a financial education show for those seeking guidance. Are you retiring soon? Are you in the middle of changing jobs? Maybe you're just done with all of that risk in the 401k plan and you'd like to have a discussion about an early rollout. Maybe you're 70 and a half and you're in your income phase of your IRA. We can help you with all those. Give us a call at Senior Financial Group at 800-639-0824. That's 800-639-0824.
Now back to Spotlight on 1480 WHBC.
All right, we are back to Spotlight on News Talk 1480 WHBC. And again, talking with folks from the American Forest Foundation and really talking about the Family Forest Carbon Program, which is brand new here in Ohio. And certainly something that is important in so many different ways, not only for the landowner, but of course for the folks with the American Forest Foundation. And we have with us today Tristan Kinnison and Richard Campbell and David Funk. And we've been talking about the program and how it works. And Tristan, I want you to explain a little bit. We've been talking about, the process and how people, basically are coming to you. They're talking about their options. And we talked about the land and all of that. But the compensation, explain the compensation and how that works.
Yeah, so the compensation, it can vary across our enrollment area, but it's about $200 to $300 per acre over the 20 years of the contract period. So it's sort of assessed as a whole pie, and then during the enrollment, people get different pieces of the pie yearly. So you get about 20% of that upfront at signing, with about 3 to 5% yearly throughout the 20 years. And then in year 20, you receive sort of another big chunk of 10%, sort of for finishing off. It's usually not a ton of money, but I see it lining up pretty closely with what people's property taxes are. Sort of as it scales up with the size of their forest, that typically scales up with the size of their property tax. It's not always 1-to-1, but it seems to work pretty well for a lot of people.
And when we talk about this whole program, we're just not talking about doing this to help people. We are, but it's also about conservation, and it's a carbon program, right? I mean, explain that part of it.
Yeah, so the idea basically is that with harvest restrictions over 20 years, you are sequestering more carbon on your property than a landowner with no restrictions. So sort of our methodology in calculating that is we use public info from the Forest Service to sort of match up the harvest likelihood of a forest owner in the same area with some of the same attributes, like distance to a road, slope, aspect, height, a lot of different factors. So we try to get as close to matching them up with, their exact twins on the landscape as we can. With some of that data, we can show that the amount that we're reducing on their harvest is sequestering enough carbon that we can sell that off as carbon credits. And that really is sort of the bread and butter of funding the payments to the landowners.
Okay. Explain a carbon credit for someone who doesn't know what that is.
So a carbon credit is typically 1 metric ton of carbon that has been sequestered or kept from entering the atmosphere in some sort of way by some sort of force. So when you can prove that you are either sequestering more or you are preventing more from going into the atmosphere, you can quantify that and sell that off to industries. So, people that are emitting carbon and want to sort of work on their carbon accounting to get closer to net zero, they have an interest to buy those carbon credits and reduce the amount that they are putting into the air.
Okay. And Richard, explain, because this is a big part of it for you, right? This is, where your expertise lies, correct?
Yep. So,
I mean, I'm just, your side of it is looking at these things. And I mean, this has to be seeing this program expand like this and more and more people wanting to be involved. This has to be a very good thing for you. I mean, exciting thing for you.
Yeah, it really is. The program exists to have a benefit to the climate, right? That's sort of the basic foundation of it. And the way that we're able to do that, the way that we're able to have that impact at a really big scale is through using the market. And the tool in the market today is carbon credits. So one of the big aspects that we're really pushing with the program, with the sort of the nexus with this carbon credit idea, is to really kind of push the carbon industry to higher integrity standards, to make sure that the carbon credits that are existing on the market and they're being sold actually represent a true benefit to the climate. That we're not just using kind of clever accounting methods to sort of show a benefit that doesn't really exist. And that's on one side of it, right? And that's all of the work that Tristan's been talking about in the woods to make sure that landowners do have the opportunity to harvest, that they can adjust, and that they get matched to properties that are very similar, that would have a different path. And that we're only generating those carbon credits as the change occurs in the landscape. We're not modeling things into the future and guessing, and we're not paying for what happened in the past, because climate change is all about what's going to happen. The other aspect of this is who buys our carbon credits as well, right? It's very easy for a company to frankly be lazy and to rely on carbon credits to sort of show themselves as getting close to this idea of net zero without actually making any changes. And so we vet the buyers of our credits to make sure that they meet our values, that they're doing what they can to first not use to sort of reduce their energy use, then to replace that energy use with renewables where they can. And it's only for those emissions that they have that are technologically kind of infeasible to remove, we allow those to be offset with our carbon credits. So we really try to match sort of what we think of as high quality supply of climate mitigation with high quality demand for that mitigation. Again, like the whole point of this thing is not to sell carbon credits. We're using carbon credits to make a difference for the climate and for forest landowners.
Okay. And for you, David, you entered into this when? When did you enroll?
Just in the last 3 months.
Wow. Okay. So how's it been going for you? I mean, you know, you obviously feel like it was a smart thing and beneficial.
Yeah, we're really excited. I think the paperwork just got done. Part of the process that's been particularly wonderful for me is to engage the next generation in thinking about our woods. You know, it's a 20-year commitment. And so, you know, had discussions with the next generation about, you know, what it means to preserve woodlands, you know, what a 20-year time period looks like, what their role might be. Even got the grandkids involved, you know, pitched to them, hey, should set the woods aside for 20 years or we could have Legoland amusement park there or a soccer field. They're really into that. And I'm glad to say that they voted for setting the woods aside and no timbering. Hats off to them. So they'll be great stewards in the future, I hope.
Yeah, that's great. I mean, that's truly a family thing. And that's a very good point. You have to, you know, 20 years from now, you have to make sure that moving forward, you have somebody that's on your side in the next generation, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You know, Tristan was talking about how each landowner is different, and we're very much in that mode. I mean, we have a few tree farms, and, you know, in some locations, we want just a mixed wood, southeastern Ohio woods, but there's other places where we've always had the vision of having a return to traditional oak, hickory, and maybe even chestnut stands. And so that's where you can get into some active management of trying to move the woods in that direction. But it's from our perspective, it's not just setting woods aside and never worrying about them again. It's a very active process. I mean, invasive species and other things, you're always battling them, always trying to make the woods better.
Are there other landowners around you that, you know, maybe you've told about this? Or, I mean, does it happen that way? You know, you say, hey, this is what I'm doing. I mean, is it anything like that?
Yeah, I've had folks reach out. You know, there are a number of local folks as well as local organizations that I know are seriously looking at the Family Forest Carbon Program. The Athens Conservancy, I'm on the board of the Conservancy. They're taking a serious look at whether that is the right program for them. So yeah, there's a lot of buzz going around it.
Yeah, Tristan, I would imagine, you know, maybe that once you're talking to somebody that, you know, it's a chain reaction. It can be probably.
Yeah, there seems to be a lot of word of mouth spread. You know, certainly, you know, I mean, a lot of the people that I have been seen come in the pipeline and are the most excited have been like, oh, I heard, you know, my friend was telling me about this. You know, so we have ads and different things, and you know, when people hear about it through an ad, they're a little skeptical and they're like, oh, you know, like, what is this thing?
Mm-hmm.
But when you hear about a landowner, you know, when a landowner hears it from somebody they trust, it really gives it that connection that they're, you know, oh, well, maybe I should look into this.
Yeah, my neighbor did that. Okay, so yeah, it must be okay. I think, yeah, that's and then a very good point. Very good point. All right, we're going to take our final break, believe it or not. And when we come back, we'll talk more about the steps, the process, what people listening today need to do. And we'll do all of that here coming up on Spotlight here on 1480 WHBC.
Good afternoon. afternoon. This is your captain speaking. We're flying at an altitude of 37,000 feet, and our airspeed is 400 miles an hour.
The Choose Your Trip keyword is VIP. That's VIP. Go to WHBC.com now, submit the word. You have 1 hour to do it if you want a chance to kick your bucket list.
Browns, Buckeyes, Cavaliers, and high school sports. We know this is a sports town. 1480 WHBC has it all.
Sports. I'm a huge fan. I played in college. That's what I'm tuned into right now, sports.
Your home for the NFL, NBA, MLB, college football, and high school sports. If it's sports you're looking for, this is the right place. News Talk 1480, WHBC.
Tune in each Saturday morning at 8 a.m. for the Money Matters radio show. Hosts Bob Foudy and David Ryan help you make your money matter. Find out how today's economy, debt levels, and policies affect your hard-earned money. You've made your money. Now it's time to watch it grow. Tune in to the hour-long Money Matters radio show every Saturday morning at 8 a.m. right here on News Talk 1480 WHBC. To speak to Bob Foudy or Dave Ryan about your money matters, call New Horizon Financial Group in Canton at 330-499-1915. 330-499-1915.
Your land is your legacy, but keeping it healthy and thriving means caring for it now and in the future. The Family Forest Carbon Program can help you do right by your land with guaranteed income, help developing a forest management plan, and advice from experts. If you own 30 acres or more of forest land in Ohio, Pennsylvania, West Virginia, or Western Maryland, you may be eligible to enroll in the Family Forest Carbon Program. Visit familyforestcarbon.org and enroll today.
Traffic jams, tailgating, pileups. Ugh, the joys of driving. How could it get worse? The federal government wants to have a say in what you drive. That's right. The Biden administration's EPA is pushing mandates that would ban 2 out of every 3 vehicles on the road today. Don't let Washington become your backseat driver. Protect the freedom of driving your way. Visit EnergyCitizens.org. Paid for by the American Petroleum Institute.
Get ready for an extraordinary musical experience as Vocal Fusion presents Lights, Camera, Acapella. Join us at the Canton Cultural Center Theater April 26th and 27th for 7 p.m. performances and the matinee at 3 p.m. on Sunday, April 28th. Vocal Fusion pays tribute to the unforgettable songs that have graced the silver screen. Get your tickets today at vocalfusion.org. That's vocalfusion.org.
I'm Pam Cook for St. Joseph Senior Living. I've been talking about all the wonderful things at St. Joe's in Louisville for years now. But what's new? There's so much, and it's all for you and your loved ones. Of course, they offer assisted living, long-term living nursing care, a beautiful memory care support unit, and independent living at the Alsatian. But they now offer a brand new wellness center for short-term rehab. This beautiful center offers private suites, state-of-the-art therapy equipment and space, delicious meals, and engaging activity. If you have an acute health episode or a decline in health, they'll work with you to map your recovery. It's worth a visit to see what they have to offer. Making these kinds of decisions for you or a loved one is never easy, but a visit to St. Joe's will show you exactly the help and care you can get. Take a look at their Facebook page. You can also visit them on Reno Drive in Louisville, right behind St. Thomas Aquinas High School. And the website, great place to start, stjosephseniorliving.org.
We used to argue about whose turn it was to clean the gutters, but then I had Leaf Filter gutter protection installed.
Wait, I told you Leaf Filter had free inspections and estimates and a lifetime guarantee.
Meaning we never have to argue about whose turn it is to clean the gutters again.
But I visited leaffilter.com/beacon first.
No, I did.
It doesn't matter who. Visit leaffilter.com/beacon to schedule your free gutter inspection and get up to 30% off today.
See representative for warranty details. Promotion is 20% off plus a 10% senior or military discount. One discount per
Did you know that feeling sluggish or weighed down could be a sign that your digestive system isn't working at its best? Taking Metamucil every day can help. Metamucil fiber powders help promote your daily digestive health using a plant-based fiber called psyllium. The gelling action of this special fiber traps and removes waste, so you can feel lighter and more energetic. Metamucil, promoting digestive health for a better you. Learn more at metamucil.com. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. These products are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
Hi, I'm Henry Winkler.
My eyes are very important to me. My eyes connect me with everything I love. I loved my late father-in-law dearly. He always lit up a room, but his vision dimmed with age. He had age-related macular degeneration, or AMD. And since partnering with Apellis, I've learned there's an advanced form of dry AMD called geographic atrophy, or GA. His struggle with vision loss made me want to help others know about GA's warning signs. For some, colors appear dull or washed out. For others, hazy or blurred vision make it hard to see details, like fine print on price tags. Many have trouble seeing in the dark, making driving at night difficult. GA gets worse over time and cannot be reversed. If you think you have GA, don't wait. Treatments are available. Ask a retina specialist about FDA-approved treatments for GA and go to GAWon'tWait.com.
Now back to Spotlight on 1480 WHBC.
And again, this morning we have been talking about the American Forest Foundation. We've also been talking about the new program, Family Forest Carbon Program, that has just recently come to Ohio, and explaining it and hopefully garnering some interest in it for those of you who need it. And we have with us this morning Tristan Kinnison, Richard Campbell, and David Funk. David being the first enrolled landowner in Ohio, we do believe. Tristan, we had talked earlier about, people having to qualify, so to speak, for the program. What kinds of things would stop them from qualifying? Like what would, if they came to you, what are the things that you would have to say, no, I'm sorry, that doesn't work?
So two of the biggest ones that we typically see are people with large parcels, but not large forests. So part of that enrollment requirement is that they have 30 acres of forest. So we get a lot of people coming through the pipeline that have, 70 acres and the front 50 is, field or farm or whatever, and then 20 acres in the back of woods. That does not add up to the 30 acres of forest that we require. Okay. The other one that I deal with a lot here in Ohio has been degraded forests. So like I said, we need to see at least 4,000 board feet per acre. We are pretty lenient with how we assess that. But, really a good rule of thumb I've seen is if they have had a commercial harvest in about the last 5 years, they're probably going to fall below that enrollment criteria. So we get a lot of people that call and they say, hey, well, I harvested 2 or 3 years ago, and I don't even want to harvest. I don't think I can even harvest for 20 more years. That is part of the problem. Okay. We do need to see them come in with, a fairly well-stocked forest at time of enrollment.
Okay. And, for landowners, this is something that there are benefits. What are some of the benefits? I mean, besides, obviously, the monetary thing is a little helpful thing, but what else are the benefits, would you say?
Yeah, so I think honestly one of our biggest benefits is the forest management plan, and then the technical support. So before a landowner even signs the contract, they get a call with me and usually a site visit with me. So I get to go out and talk with landowners, and they don't always qualify, but they still get a visit with a forester. So yesterday I was in Medina County and I had a landowner visit, and they didn't qualify, but I still pointed them to some resources that they can use, through the federal government, through the states, gave them sort of a quick talk through on what was in their forest and, some strategies to move forward with their forest, even though they couldn't qualify. So I think that's a great resource for landowners who just really don't know what's going on in their woods. And then the forest management plan that we provide as part of enrollment for free, it obviously acts as a lot of good technical support. So it gives people a good handle on what they should be doing over the next 10 years in their forest. But that also has some knock-on effects. You can qualify for some tax breaks in different states using that. So in Ohio, using CAUV, if you have a forest management plan and you are managing for timber, you can qualify for a property or a tax break on your property taxes using that. So we try to make sure that all landowners coming in, aren't just getting, some guidance and some money. We want to provide them with everything that we can point them to.
And they're in a community of like-minded people, right? I mean, that's always a helpful thing too. And David, I would say to you, what advice would you give to people who are considering this?
Personally, I don't see much of a downside, but they should do a deep dive in terms of the 20-year commitment. I think that would be the biggest barrier for a landowner if they have a serious interest in some development or some other use within the next 20 years. There is some flexibility in the program, but that's the biggest thing to look out for. From our perspective, I mean, we got in this in the 1980s, planting, just trying to take fields that were reverting and turn them to woods and create recreational wildlife. What's really affirming now is that, these southeastern Ohio woods that we think of as recreational wildlife, now we're going to have a much larger reach in terms of the climate impact. And that's cool.
Yeah. Weigh your options and then make your decision based on that. So if someone wants to get in touch with you, Tristan, or wants to figure out how they go ahead and do this, who should they contact? How do they go about doing that?
So basically everything about us, every way that you can get in touch with us is through our website, familyforestcarbon.org. That is really the tool. So our enrollment tool allows landowners to pick out their parcels that they own and that they're interested in enrolling. It gives them some qualifying questions that we use to sort of move them through a little quicker. And that gets them set up with a call either with me or with one of our representatives and then on to me. So really going through the website has all the information that anyone could ask for. And it gets you right into picking your parcels and moving down the line with us.
All right. Give us the website one more time.
That's familyforestcarbon.org.
All right. Gentlemen, thank you so much for coming on today. A lot of great information, and I hope it really helps some folks out there, take that step and get in touch with you. And I appreciate you giving us all the information. Thank you so much.
All right. Thanks, Pam.
Thank you.
Have a great day.
Let's take a look at what's happening right now in the WHBC